From the rugged shores of Corsica, a young Napoleon Bonaparte emerged, his gaze fixed on a destiny far beyond the horizon. Military school honed his tactical mind, and early campaigns in Italy and Egypt revealed his undeniable ambition and burgeoning military genius. Through cunning political maneuvering, he climbed the ladder of power. But how did this Corsican outsider, in a nation reeling from revolution, ascend to the very pinnacle of French power? The French Revolution, a tempest that tore through France, left behind a nation scarred but ripe for change. Political instability and a gaping power vacuum set the stage for a new leader to emerge. France, yearning for stability, provided fertile ground for ambition. It was into this tumultuous landscape that Napoleon stepped, a man ready to seize the reins of power. Italy, the jewel in Napoleon's strategic ambitions. More than territory, Italy represented French prestige and Napoleon's drive to solidify his position within France. The reclaiming of these lands, lost to Austria, became paramount to the ambitious first consul. Each battle, each maneuver, a step towards Marengo, and a pivotal point in history. The Alps, a formidable barrier of rock and ice. Napoleon's audacious plan to traverse these treacherous peaks was a gamble of epic proportions. Sheer cliffs, narrow passes, and the unpredictable fury of mountain weather stood between him and his ambitions in Italy. Would this daring crossing be a path to glory or a road to utter disaster? The logistics of moving an army across the Alps were staggering. Heavy cannons, vital supplies, all had to be hauled across treacherous terrain. Images depict the Herculean effort, men and mules straining against ropes and sledges, even the ingenuity of cannons transported in hollowed-out trees. The sheer scale of the operation speaks volumes about the resilience and resourcefulness of Napoleon's troops. The story of cannons hauled across the Alps in hollowed-out trees has become a fixture in the Marengo legend. But was this feat of engineering a reality or a myth embellished over time? Historians and experts weigh in on the debate. Ingenious solution or a romantic exaggeration? We examine the evidence and the enduring mystery of the hollowed-out trees. The summit, a hard-won victory against nature itself, a moment of triumph, of awe-inspiring views, but also a moment fraught with uncertainty. The Alps had been conquered, but the true test, the clash with the Austrian army, still loomed large. The dangers of the mountains had been overcome, but the dangers of war were just beginning. Napoleon, a master strategist, relied heavily on a network of spies and informants, but at Marengo, his intelligence gathering faltered. The Austrians, their true strength and position shrouded in secrecy, were underestimated. How could a system usually so effective fail so critically at such a pivotal moment? The fog of war, it seemed, had blinded even the great Napoleon. Reconnaissance, the eyes and ears of an army. At Marengo, these senses failed. Limited scouting, missed opportunities to gather crucial intel, a fatal oversight that would have dire consequences. Napoleon, operating in the dark, was walking into a trap laid by a cunning and prepared enemy. In warfare, knowledge is power. At Marengo, that power was tragically absent. General Melas, the Austrian commander, a seasoned veteran, was weaving a web of deception. His true intentions masked, his forces hidden. He laid a trap for the advancing French. Melas played a dangerous game, and Napoleon, blinded by faulty intelligence, was about to become his unsuspecting prey. June 14th, 1800, Dawn breaks over the French camp at Marengo. An eerie calm hangs in the air, the French unaware of the fate that awaits them. But this tranquility is a deceptive facade. The storm is about to break. Without warning, the Austrian onslaught begins. Emerging from the fog of war, they unleash a devastating attack, catching the French completely off guard. Chaos erupts within the French ranks. The tide of battle turns in an instant, from assumed victory to desperate struggle. Marengo becomes a maelstrom. The French army reels from the sudden Austrian attack. Confusion and disarray spread through the ranks. Napoleon struggles to regain control, to rally his men against this unexpected onslaught. The French, moments before confident of victory, now face the stark reality of a potential rout. 71-year-old generalmelas, believing victory secured, leaves the battlefield. A premature celebration, a fatal miscalculation. Or was there more to this seemingly reckless decision? The true reasons for Melas's departure would shape not just the outcome of Marengo, but may very well have decided it all together. The fog of war descends, a suffocating blanket of smoke and blood. Exhaustion sets in. Fear gnaws at the French lines. Morale dwindles with every Austrian advance. The weight of impending defeat, a crushing burden upon Napoleon's once proud army. The Austrian onslaught continues, relentless, brutal. French lines waver. The casualty count mounts. The psychological impact, devastating. The very will of Napoleon's army, once unwavering, begins to crack. Annihilation seems imminent. Amidst the carnage, Napoleon, facing perhaps the greatest challenge of his young career, his army collapsing around him, defeat staring him in the face, his meteoric rise on the verge of crashing down. Did he give into his own personal despair, question his decisions, and doubt creep into his thoughts? Could he find the strength, the inspiration to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat? Just as darkness threatened to engulf the French army, a glimmer of hope appeared on the horizon. General Desaix, a trusted lieutenant of Napoleon, arrived on the battlefield with fresh troops. A beacon of hope, an unlikely lifeline. Hope perhaps clung to this force, giving some strength to the flagging Napoleon. Desaix, meeting with a beleaguered Napoleon, utters the now famous words, "There is time to win another." More than a simple morale booster, these words resonate. It would seem to have emboldened and motivated not just the troops and Napoleon himself to one more attempt. Desaix's words ignited a spark, marking a crucial turning point in the battle. The impact of Desaix's arrival and his fresh troops was immediate and palpable. Renewed hope surges through the French lines. Soldiers, moments before on the brink of despair, find new resolve, now determined to seize this second chance. Desaix's presence, a jolt of energy, shifts the momentum. Victory, once seemingly impossible, now feels within reach. Desaix, imbued with renewed purpose, leads the French counterattack. With a ferocity born of desperation and hope, they surge forward, determined to push back the Austrian advance. The clash of steel, the roar of cannons, the cries of men. The battlefield erupts anew. In the heat of the counterattack, tragedy strikes. Desaix, the architect of this renewed French offensive, falls. His death could have demoralized and deflated an army and ended the fight. His vision taken away so abruptly and suddenly as the man himself. But heroes rarely die completely, and his sacrifice galvanizes the French troops, pushing them forward and onwards with an increased sense of determination. With Desaix tragically removed from the picture, the onus fell onto his cavalry charge, with General Kellermann at the fore, and they burst like a thunderbolt into the unsuspecting Austrian line, seizing a momentary disruption with aplomb and turning certain defeat to a surprising victory. The Austrians, caught completely off guard, reel from the impact. The tide turns dramatically as Kellermann's cavalry breaks their advance and cause mass confusion and certain death. The Austrians, once seemingly unstoppable, now falter. Their lines break and the retreat begins. The renewed French offensive, fueled by Desaix's sacrifice and Kellermann's audacious charge, proves too much to withstand. The Austrian army, once poised for victory, now in full retreat, driven back by the relentless French advance, their lines shattered, their confidence broken, a complete collapse ensues. Soldiers previously ready to take home glory and honor, reduced to saving whatever and whomever they could, at whatever the cost. The day after the battle, the Convention of Alessandria is signed. Austria, forced to concede significant territories to France, the spoils of victory. Marengo's end formally codified as an astonishing triumph and victory, changing both countries' futures indefinitely. Napoleon Bonaparte has solidified his claim on greatness, and his grasp on France itself became that much stronger. Napoleon, triumphant at Marengo. His prestige soars. His star ascends further. Marengo had been far more than a narrow victory. It was a resounding declaration of his military genius. Indeed, one can argue with complete and total justification that it was the deciding moment of who and how powerful Napoleon was destined to become. This victory changed everything. History had just taken its most pivotal of turns at Marengo, placing the man who had made it one step closer to his coronation. Marengo, a pivotal victory, propelled Napoleon closer to his ultimate ambition, becoming Emperor of France. The battle solidified his image as a brilliant military strategist, a leader destined for greatness. It was a crucial step on his path to absolute power. From the battlefield to the kitchen, the legend of Marengo extends even to the culinary world. The story goes that after the battle, Napoleon's chef, lacking traditional ingredients, improvised a dish using whatever was available: chicken, tomatoes, mushrooms, eggs, crayfish, and garlic. Chicken Marengo, a culinary creation born from necessity, now immortalizes the battle in gastronomic history. So famous became this seemingly random dish, created under strange conditions after a chaotic event. A dish fit for, well, an emperor. While Napoleon basked in the glory of Marengo, the contributions of two key figures often go overlooked: General Desaix and General Kellermann. Desaix's timely arrival and inspiring words, Kellermann's decisive cavalry charge, these were pivotal moments. Their bravery and tactical brilliance, though overshadowed, deserve recognition as essential to Napoleon's triumph, though history has relegated them both to being overshadowed by their ruler and the emperor they helped become. Marengo, more than a battle, a turning point. Its impact rippled across Europe, reshaping the political landscape for decades to come. The balance of power shifted, Napoleon ascending in both power and fame. From near certain loss, he carved and created an unimaginable triumph, altering the course of history. Marengo changed the world in the most profound way. From the brink of disaster to the heights of triumph, Marengo stands as a stark reminder of war's capricious nature. The battles ebb and flow, a testament to how quickly fortunes can change. In a single moment, despair transforms into hope, defeat into victory. Marengo, a crucible where leadership was forged and tested. Napoleon's strategic brilliance, Desaix's unwavering resolve, Kellermann's audacious charge. These men, their courage and tactical acumen etched into the annals of military history. Today, the battlefield at Marengo lies silent, but the echoes of that fateful day continue to resonate, a timeless reminder of courage, of leadership, of the unpredictable turns of history, and ultimately, one thing has remained the same. War always brings casualties,